Hey guys, Dr. Davin Lim, board certified laser dermatologist. Today we'll be doing a video on DIY, so DIY as in do it yourself at home, and we're going to be talking about glycolic acid peels. Just to give you an idea, we do a lot of different type of peels. This is our peel cupboard here, so you can see we've got everything from 20% glycolic acid. This is what I'll be showing you, but you should be using a lower concentration. So we use everything from 20, goes up to 35, 50, 70% glycolic. We also use citric acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, all the way up to 30%. We often start at something like a 4% and we go most often to the 18% concentration. What else do we have? We've got some lacto-botanical peels here, but my favorite peels are in this tray over here, which are basically TCA peels, and it goes all the way up to, you can see just there, 100%. So I usually use by default my 80% TCA, that's for TCA cross. We won't be doing TCA on the face today. I'm just showing you how to do a glycolic acid peel and to do it safely. So let's clear up some confusion. First of all, glycolic acid peels need to be neutralized. So I find them one of the harder peels to do at home. I personally prefer a TCA peel 9%, so you can see that video which I did. I personally think that's a safer peel. Glycolic acid peels, yes, they are excellent peels, but you do need to actually be very careful, and you do need to neutralize. So I'll show you that very shortly as to how to actually neutralize and how to do the peel safely. First of all, a couple of safety concerns. Number one, make sure when you're getting a chemical peel that you don't have any active infection. If you have a history of cold sores, be very careful with that as well. Maybe take some anti-cold sore medications beforehand. The other thing as well is that if you're beginning, and I think it's good habit, is to actually put a little bit of Vaseline around the corners here and a bit of Vaseline over there. Obviously use eye protection. I like using the gauze method, but I'll show you both the gauze and the brush method. So hang tight and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so we're going to go straight from basics about how to do a basic glycolic acid peel, and you can do this at home. So the main thing is safety first. Okay, so safety is the most important thing. Let's have a look what I've got in my tray. So first off, we've got the concentration. I'll be using the 20%. I don't recommend you use this at home. You start off with something like a 5 or 10%. I've got it in a bowl. I'm going to show you the technique which I use using a gauze, and also a technique which I use with a brush, or the techniques actually I showed them my nurses. I've also got some Vaseline, so remember we're going to start from basics as a protector. I've got a neutralizing agent you can easily make at home. It's sodium bicarbonate, so a little bit of sodium bicarbonate of soda together with water. I've got also some water spray as a neutralizer. Very, very simple emollient or moisturizer, and most importantly, if shit happens, which hopefully it won't, I've got eye irrigation. So guys, if you're doing peels, make sure you have eye irrigation close and handy, because sooner or later, someday you might accidentally drop some in your face and into your eye. And just out of caution, I've got some pads that we use around the eyes as well. Okay, so we're going to start with this. We're going to have some eye protection. So I don't usually do this, but like I said, if you're starting off, do it, because that way you can stop dripping. Okay, so we're just going to put some nice eye pads on there just to protect. Right, now I've got some Vaseline over here, and remember, like I said, with a 20% concentration, it doesn't really matter, but once you go up to 70% and you get spillage, and if you don't neutralize, bad things can happen. It usually happens in the corners of the mouth, so a bit of Vaseline here, a bit of Vaseline here. Okay, so it's really, really important to get a history of the patient, so a history of any cold sores, history of any recurrent infections, history of skin sensitivities, including eczema or rosacea or anything like that, and also an allergy to AHAs, which is extremely uncommon. Maybe 1 in 10,000 will have an allergy. I've seen allergies before, but it's extremely uncommon. Okay, so protection, remember, corners of the mouth and just around these areas here. Okay, so we're going to start off very shortly. Now, this AHA, or alpha hydroxy acid, glycolic acid, can be used to treat different conditions. So here I'm using the brush. The most important thing with the brush is make sure there's no drip. So no drip at all, and then you can start painting it. So you can start painting it here and start painting. So really quick paint, no drip technique, right up to the eyes, paint. Watch out for any frosting in that area, we don't want any frosting. So I'm going to do half a face with glycolics and the other half with my gauze technique, which I prefer because it gives me more tactile feel. So this is a really quick application. I want to apply as quickly as possible. Like I said, no drip, all around there. On the nose, because you can get rid of blackheads. So AHAs, or alpha hydroxy acids, can be used for treating skin pigmentation, can also be used for rejuvenation. So this is my gauze technique. I like actually using the gauze, and once again with the gauze it's really important, no drip at all. So everything's there, no drip. And then I'll tell you why I like the gauze, it's so much quicker. There's me with the gauze, and I use this for actually TCA peels. That's my gauze technique. I have this habit of going below the jawline and actually buffering it. So this is just a technique I learned just from doing TCA peels. Okay, and then I go really close to the eyes, right up to the eyelid margin, and onto the nose. So a single coat down there. So like I said, this can be used for skin rejuvenation, treatment of acne, treatment of skin pigmentation, wrinkles, fine lines, and just a general maintenance peel. So that's a glycolic peel. And glycolic acid peels is also known as an alpha hydroxy acid or AHA peels. You can do a couple more coats on the nose because it's a little bit more forgiving, especially with the blackheads and all. And what we do is we time it. So I've got my timer set, and the timer set for 2 minutes in the beginning. So from the beginning to the end should be about 3 minutes as a guide. But apart from time, always look. So look to make sure there's no erythema or redness. So there's no excessive redness. And ask the patient, how's everything going?
Really good.
Really good? Yeah,
Yep.
Cool. So listen to the patient. If the patient's going, ouch, this is hurting, even if it's like 30 seconds, neutralize it. Okay, guys? So don't actually go, cool, you know, the last time she had it was for 3 minutes, now she's complaining of pain at 30 seconds, I'm just going to wait for 3 minutes. Listen to the patient. So look, listen, time. That's a three key components for a glycolic acid peel. Okay? So we'll wait and we'll neutralize shortly. How's the stinging now?
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty good. Okay, so typically what we do is we go for 20, what I do is I normally go for 20% and then go up to 35, 35, 50, and then all the way up to 70%. So this is the professional way dermatologists use these peels, but certainly for home peels, dampen down the concentration. Start off with something like 5% and then work up to 20%. Okay, so be safe with it. The biggest disasters we see are usually with TCA peels or with glycolic. More with glycolic is because of the neutralization. Remember, with this peel, you do need to neutralize. With TCA peels, apart from the cooked TCA peels, you don't need to neutralize. So we're going to neutralize this very shortly. Okay? So here we go. We're going to neutralize using some sodium bicarbonate. I'm going to start neutralizing now. So you can see there's a tiny bit of frosting with the neutralization process. See that, guys? It's just frosted up. So you can neutralize using water or water mixed with sodium bicarbonate. You can see that neutralizing nicely. Keep your eyes closed. See how you get that little frost when we neutralize that? Okay, we'll do the nose, close your eyes. That's it. It's dripping down. Keep your eyes closed. Do that. We're going to give this a little wipe. And then, by the way, this is a sterile towel. It's not just a bathroom towel. Actually, this is my towel from the floor. No, it's a new one. Okay, good. Okay, sorry, mate. Okay, keep your eyes closed. So what I do now is you should do this at home, is you can see how red she is. Do a second neutralization and you can just use ordinary water with this. So keep your eyes closed, I'm just going to use a spray. So I do another spray. and that's just to be doubly sure. Okay. And like I said, the corners of the mouth, very important, and around the nose area, really important. Okay. And then you can give this a wipe. So this is how you do a glycolic acid peel safely, right? Certainly people can modify this to whatever they want to do, but this is the safe procedure. And like I said, it's really important you have all of these handy, eye irrigation handy as well. And yeah, do not start at 20%, please guys. Start at something very much lower, and start off with a low time, build yourself up, and go from there, because you know we do see burns from this and it can get really dangerous, especially with 70% AHAs. So to tell you the truth, I taught my nurses this about 10 years ago, and this is the first peel I've done in 10 years. So if I look a little bit jerky there, it's because I haven't done it in a decade. I've taught my girls that about 10 years ago. Obviously I do high-end laser resurfacing procedures, but there you go. Not bad for 10 years without doing a peel, hey? Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. Bye. To show you how old I am, I discovered something called Instagram, and now I'm on it. So hey, if you're really bored, follow me on Instagram and I'll show you a couple of clips every week, 60-second video clips. So hope to subscribe. Thanks, bye.